Hello folks, this is Singing Toad, and today what I'd like to talk about is my brand new Joker knife. So this here is the Joker Ember, and this knife I've been wanting to do a review on for a little while now. So it took a little while to get here, but nevertheless, here it is, and I wanted to put my 2 cents in on it. Now I do want to say this is still very much a brand new knife. I haven't really used it much, so I can't give you an opinion from a user standpoint, only just more from a first impressions standpoint. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is just take this out of the way, and I'm going to grab the box. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see this all in frame here, but this is the box. So if you want to read any of this stuff here, just go ahead and freeze frame it. This is the side of the box. This is the other side, which is pretty much a mirrored image. I don't think there's anything different. This is the, I don't know if the camera will focus, CM-122-P. That's the actual model number, made in Spain. Oh, there we go, now it focuses. This camera sucks so much. I really need to get a new camera. And, oh, are we going to focus? There we go. So we have the address and the email and phone number and all that jazz. So if you want to contact Joker and get one yourself, that's how you can do so. I did buy mine through Amazon.ca. So if we open up the box, oh, what do we got in there? Paperwork. That's just the paperwork. And I'm not going to show that because it's got my personal information on it. But inside, it did come in a bag. It did have this little tag. Where'd the other part of the tag go? There was a little tag. Oh, there it is. Whoopsie. There was this little tag clipped to it. So, handmade materials. Oh, that might be an actual serial number. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that represents. I don't know if these are serialized or not. Anyway, it came with a little striker for the ferro rod, and it came with a length of cordage, and I believe it's 200 centimeters of cordage, is what it said on the website. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that off to the side real quick. And back to the knife itself. So, as you can see, the sheath, before I take it out of the sheath, it's got the Joker name and emblem embossed in the front here. This is a leather sheath with brass hardware. I mean, this is really well made. Like, really, really well made. Very thick. It's a very strong sheath. The only retention is friction. It's just a friction fit sheath. Very traditional design sheath. Of course, it's got a ferro rod, and I'll get more into the sheath in a minute. Let's get to the knife. That's what everyone wants to see. They don't care about the sheath so much. Okay, so here's the knife itself. All right, so just for quick size comparisons, because let's get that out of the way right away. So we have a Spyderco Delica. Just for some quick size comparisons here, and the closest knife in my collection to this knife here is the Mora Garberg. So the Mora Garberg. So we'll just drop that down in at the bottom. As you can see, it's very much almost the exact same size. I think the Mora Garberg, hold on, I think the Mora Garberg is just a hair longer, okay? And that's largely just because this blade sweeps up more where this one curves down more. This one here, with the point being more directly into the middle of the knife, is going to facilitate better for drilling. So if you're doing some bushcrafting and you're drilling into a hearth board to make like a bow drill, this tip being closer to the center line of the knife is going to be easier to work with than this one being further over. Now, when we flip the knives over, or up rather, you can see a major difference though. And that is the blade spine thickness. So this is a thick, chunky boy, and this is a much thinner knife. And the Mora Garberg is actually not that thin when you really look at it. You compare this against the standard Moras, they're actually thinner than this, and a lot of bushcraft knives are thinner than this. So the Mora Garberg is an excellent quality made knife. No bones about that, and I'm not disputing that in the least bit in this video. But just for some quick size comparisons, get that out of the road real quick. Now, as far as dimensions and things are concerned, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the tape measure right here. This is just to remind me when I'm editing the video to put all the size dimensions in at this point in time, because I'm not going to go ahead and measure it. My eyes are getting to the point where I'm struggling to see measurements correctly, and I don't want to look like a buffoon for 5 minutes here trying to measure the knife out with this silly tape measure. So right about now, I'll throw the specs up. Alright, so moving along, when we look at the actual knife itself, if I can get the camera to focus, so there we go, Joker, Ember, and again, there's the logo. There we go. And along the edge of the blade, we have Sandvik 14C28N, of course Spain. I'm not sure what AB and the shield stands for. Maybe that's the maker's mark, I don't know. On the opposite side, it does say by J. Sabater. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Spanish company, I'm assuming it's a Spanish individual. Forgive me, I don't speak the Spanish language. It's a gorgeous language. I wish I could, but I don't. So if I'm mispronouncing this individual's name, I apologize. So if we look this way here, we have this canvas micarta handle scales. They're like a they are black, but they're like a, it's not a super deep black. Like, I mean, this cordage here is this lanyard is black, but this is like a, not quite as dark, but it is black. Of course, you got these. I think those are just stainless steel pins. I'm actually not sure what material there is made from. Of course, this hole that goes all the way through the lanyard hole. These red liners, which are really, really nice. And I mean, this handle shape is really nice and ergonomic. It definitely feels good in the hand. A little bit on the slippery side, and who knows, that could just be because it's a brand new knife and my, the oils of my hand haven't gotten onto it and causes it to tack up a little bit and facilitate some better grip. Maybe if I put some beeswax or something on there, that would grip it up nicely for me. But at this exact moment in time, this is a kind of a slippery knife. Now, granted, there is a lanyard. Now, this lanyard was a wee bit longer. I actually shortened it up a little bit because it was just too long for my liking. But you can put the lanyard around your wrist, and when you're using the knife, if your hands were wet or slippery and it slipped out of your hand, you've got that lanyard to catch the knife so it doesn't fall down and hit the ground or something. Of course, we have that Scandinavian grind. Now, the grind isn't quite even, so it's mostly even up to here, and then it kind of starts to get not so even up this way. And I don't know how well you can see it here. If I hold my hand up, you can kind of see it's uneven. So we're a little shallower on this side than this side. Alright, so this is it claims to be handcrafted. I'm not sure how much handcrafting goes into this. I really don't, but I do picture that this is probably ground on some type of a machine, and whoever was grinding this knife that day, maybe this was a Friday afternoon, and he was thinking about the weekend, or it was a Monday morning, and he'd just come off the weekend and hadn't got his coffee, hadn't worked all the way through him yet. But this grind is not very good, very poorly done in my opinion. Also, the sharpening. Now, this thing was, or is, sharp, very, very sharp, to about here, and then it gets dull, and then up at here it's hardly sharp at all. So again, a very poor sharpening job done at the factory. But aside from that, I mean, everything else about this knife is really, really well. The fit and finish is great. I really don't have any other complaints. And now, just to quickly go back to the sheath, before I get into the likes and dislikes segment of the video here, I like the fact that this sheath has this dangler, but I like also the fact that the dangler is removable. These clips they just pop off. Ugh. course, that's a little bit tricky to do through the camera lens here. But the, you know, if you don't like a dangler style sheath, you can take this off, and then you could just wear it on the belt like this. The knife is going to ride high, and, you know, if you're kind of like me and you got some love handles sticking out there, when you sit down, that knife is going to poke you in the love handles. The dangler style, this sits lower, and it articulates. So as you sit down and whatnot, this can move around. And so some people like the dangler, some people don't. I like the fact that this is removable if you don't want it. Also, you have a drain hole at the bottom of the sheath. That's very nice. So if you're out in wherever and you happen to fall in the drink or it rains, water can drain out and doesn't keep water in your knife. Obviously, we have the ferro rod in this handy little holder. The ferro rod is very nice. It does say Joker. I don't know. Camera doesn't. Oh, there we go. It is there. Camera's not showing it all that well. Same kind of materials as the knife handle. It's that black micarta with the red liner on the inside. Of course, it's got that bungee, and that's just simply held in place like so. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, that spare cordage that comes with it in the box, there are 3 holes here, here, and here. You could use that spare cordage to strap this to a bag if you didn't want to even carry it on your person at all. Or if you like to have your knife tied around your leg as you maybe walk through the bush, or maybe you're hunting or something, and you want this knife very securely against you, be more stealthy, you could put that cordage through here and tie it around your leg and make a leg loop for it. Also, I wanted to mention, because this thing comes with the ferro rod, now again, I haven't tested this yet, but this does have a sharp 90-degree, true 90-degree spine. I don't know how well this will show that, but that is my thumbnail scraping off the blade. I know it's kind of gross, but yeah, so for striking the ferro rod, you can use the back. Whoops, I just nicked myself. Oh, darn. Yep, that blade is sharp, guys. But you could definitely just use the back of the spine of the knife to strike the ferro rod. So at this point of the video, I just want to quickly go over my 3 likes and my 3 dislikes. So 3 things I like are the sheath, excellent sheath. I like the quality materials, the 14C 28N, which I believe this thing is a Rockwell of 60, 59 to 60, which is really good. And 14C 28N is an excellent blade steel, great for bushcraft knives. Mora uses it, many other companies use it, excellent blade steel, no complaints there. And of course, all the rest of the materials are quality, the leather sheath, the micarta, paracord, so on and so forth. I like the fact that it's handmade or handcrafted. You know, you can tell that someone who takes pride in their work made this. Again, a little bit sloppy on that grind, but that could just be, you know, someone having a bad day. Okay, I'm not going to fault the knife over that one little thing. 3 things I don't like: slippery handle. Okay, again, that could just be a wear thing. Uneven grind, as I already mentioned. I'm not a fan of that uneven grind. And the thickness of the blade steel. So this blade steel is a little on the thick side. I would like to see this a touch thinner, because that is going to make this knife a little bit more challenging for food prep. You know, for doing bushcrafting and firecrafting and woods crafting, all those kind of things, this is a great knife for that. If you have to baton through wood, no problem at all. But if you have to do any food prep, this thing is not going to be good at slicing tomatoes or, you know, julienning vegetables, or even being a good filleting knife. A little bit thinner blade stock would have been preferred. And that's really my only complaints. And guys, I really like this knife. I'm really struggling to come up with things I don't like about it, because I think this is a really, really good knife. Anyway, overall, I think it's a great knife, and that's all I have to say about that. Thanks very much for watching. Singing Toad signing out.